Hey everyone, I wanted to talk to you about the heart. Um, this story came to my mind this morning and I figured it's time to share it. Um, yeah, in these trying times, a lot of things kind of go through, a lot of feelings, a lot of strong emotions, a lot of just weird stuff happens. And it's kind of hard to put it all together sometimes. And so I wanted to share a quick story about, for me, I was struggling with relationship and struggling with the abilities of connecting with myself and being happy about it. And so I had sought out a person that was called a Swami. And a Swami is a Hindu religious leader or a male figure. And so I had met this guy before. I've spent a lot of time at a retreat with him. And I hadn't seen the guy in quite a while. And I decided to just go visit him and see what's going on and see if there's anything I can learn from him. Well, oddly enough, that night he decided to open up the forum to asking questions. And of course, I was needing answers, so immediately I was the first person to put my hand up. And I had some questions about the heart. And they're very simple questions, but I really liked his perspective and his answers. And so the first question was, what does love come from the heart? And he said no. He said the heart is actually the portal to love rather than it creating love. And so this made sense to me because if you think about when you experience love or you experience happiness or you fall in love, whatever, you feel that deep in the heart, right? Like typically you feel it there. For most people you do. It's rare that you feel it other places. It seems to be very centered in the heart. So I could make sense of that. I was cool with it. And I said, well, all right. If the heart is the portal to love, and love is only supposed to be a good thing, then why is it that we get heartache? And so he brought up the point of heartache comes along when we get hurt. And so all through life, we develop hurts, histories, stories of things that were right, wrong, whatever. And we protect ourselves. So we create a protective mechanism that basically covers our heart, is the way he explained it. And as time goes on, the more hurts you have, the more you cover up. And so essentially a heartache is the way he was explaining is you're activating those hurts. And so the energy that you're feeling in your heart reminds you of the past, reminds you of what's gone on in the past. And so it activates those feelings and then you start feeling that same hurt again. So that made sense. I could put logic to that. And if you think about past relationships, I'm pretty certain if you put it together, most of the time when you feel heartache, you can relate it to a previous heartache or a previous hurt and put it together. So that made complete sense to me. And so then I thought about it a bit more and I said, well, all right, one last question then. What about when you're with someone and you are feeling connected, like you feel it deep in your heart. You're like, oh yeah, I feel good. And you know that anything you're saying or anything you're doing or anything that you present is really, really from the heart. And you could just feel this massive, just beautiful energy. And you could say something. You could say something to the person that you're talking to, and just going with full, like, amazing love and happiness and just pure intent, and then all of a sudden just anger them galore, and they just get furious and whatever. And you're thrown on this because you had no intent in the world to hurt anyone, but you had every ability to just make them angry as hell. And I said, how does that work? Because I'm pretty confident when I'm sharing love and happiness, and I feel that in my heart, that there's no ill intent and there's no gain for me per se. So like I have no reason to cause these people, when I'm trying to share love, to get them to be angry or unhappy or whatever. And so he explained to me that that person also has hurts, and they also have protective mechanisms. And all you've done with your comment is activate their protective mechanisms. So now you're trying to share love and happiness and be this great, like, being, and try to share your joy with this person, and it can throw you so awfully because you're activating their hurts. Now, I don't know if I could say it's cool, but no, yeah, it's cool, because if you can appreciate the process rather than the outcomes, the cool part about this is that when you activate someone else's hurts, it's very rare that I think you can overcome them. And so the reason is that person, you activated their threat system. They feel, oddly enough, you're trying to show love, care, concern, and all this stuff, and their protective mechanisms is activated. And in theory, they don't want anything to do with you because they sense danger from you, even though you're sharing happiness and love and joy. So if you've ever encountered when you feel like just blindsided, just really weird, where you're just feeling massively connected, happy, joyous, whatever, and you go and try to share that with someone, and then it doesn't go the way that you were hoping to, put some thought into it. Just think about, what is it about that person, what about their situation, that they may be unable to handle that much love, or they may be able to unable to handle those type of feelings. And it can be because of past hurts, past experiences. And if you could start recognizing those patterns, you could possibly change your behavior if you want to, or you could start just recognizing the patterns that are present in that person, and you can learn to approach the person differently to not activate them, but also help them gain insight on the situation of you're just sharing your happiness, joy, and love. So yeah, I haven't seen this Swami for a couple of years now, but I thought that was some really cool advice, and it was really unexpected. I didn't expect to hear that from him, and I thought it was a really nice perspective on why we get heartache and how we can hurt others when we're not even trying to. And yeah, hopefully this helps. I hope you enjoyed it. Yeah, have a good day. All right, take care.